Hey guys, so I am back with the second video that the Lord wanted me to do for you guys today, which is coming from a dream that I had a couple of nights ago. This is going to be for whoever it is for, but before I even get started, I can pretty much tell you that it is concerning your enemies, okay? So if you guys have enemies, and I do believe that we all do, then this message is definitely for you. And so we're going to go ahead and get into it. I'm not going to waste any time. All right. So these are the scriptures that the Lord would have me to read with you guys before I get started here. This is Proverbs 20 and 22. Do not say, I will repay evil. Wait for the Lord and he will deliver you. Okay. Psalms 138 and 7. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, you preserve my life. You stretch out your hand against the wrath of my enemies, and your right hand delivers me. Deuteronomy 20 and 4. For the Lord your God is he who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies to give you the victory. Exodus 23 and 22. But if you carefully obey his voice and do all that I say, then I will be an enemy to your enemies and an adversary to your adversaries. That's a good one, right? Exodus 14 and 14. The Lord will fight for you, and you have only to be silent. Okay? So let's go ahead and get into this dream. It's very straightforward to the point, and the Lord gave me the revelation of this dream actually this morning, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. So in this particular dream, it looked as though I was staying in some type of a hotel. That's what I'm going to say, because that's exactly what it looked for. It looked like, I mean, it appeared to be a hotel, but it could have been, nah, can apartments be that high? I don't know. Anyway, it appeared to be a hotel. That's where it looked like I had been staying at or whatever. So in this particular dream, I was there with my kids in this hotel, and some people were trying to break into our place. Okay. And so my children, they were in distress in the dream, right? They were in some distress about it. And I was telling them, we need to pray. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And in the dream, it was visible that these people who were coming to break into our place, into our home, they didn't have any good intentions for us. They were actually coming to do some very bad things, okay? Because they had certain weapons and everything, which would let me or allow us to know that they were not coming to be gentle or kind or to look after us or anything like that. So in this part of the dream, the person had entered into my place. They had gotten in. And at that particular time, I was living on the second floor. So I got up, of course, and I picked the person up with my bare hands, and I threw them off of the balcony of the second floor. Okay, now listen to what I'm saying. So I picked them up and threw them, physically threw them. So they fell onto the second floor. They were banged up and bruised up pretty bad, right? But when they got up, I don't know why this little part is funny to me. When they got up, oh my God, Lord help me. I'm trying not to laugh, but if you would have seen this in a dream, you probably would have woke up laughing a little bit yourself. When they got up, they were limping, but they were limping and they had a very angry face like, I dare you throw me off the balcony, and now I'm limping and I can barely walk and so forth, right? So then in the dream, we moved from the second floor all the way up to like the high rises, like the 12th floor. I mean, it was high. It was extremely high. Okay. So we moved to the top floor, and then these same individuals, they come again to try to break in again. Okay. And in the dream, you could see that there were a few people with a particular person. So they didn't come by themselves. They come with people, but only one person was able to kind of squeeze in, right? The dream was focused on that one individual for whatever reason. So only one person was able to squeeze in, but it was a few more people that were there supporting that individual in their quest to do harm to me. Okay. So a lot of you guys, a lot of us, we don't have just one enemy. Okay. There are many adversaries. There are many enemies, okay, that are after us for, we know the reason why, okay? They're after us because we are God's chosen children. They're after us because they want what we have, what we carry. They're after us because, let's just be real. I mean, if people are carrying darkness, then why would they, of course they're going to come after people with light if they're already filled with darkness anyway. Okay, that's what they are filled with. So of course they're going to come after the people who carry God's light, who are genuine, true children of Christ. That's who they're going to come after, right? So in the dream, we moved up to this high rise all the way to the top. When I tell you guys, it was in the dream, it was a scary height. So I say 12th floor, but I'm trying to tell you something, okay? I'm trying to express this the best way I can. It was so high, it was scary high, okay? That's how high it was. Almost looked like, it just looked like you couldn't get no higher than the height of this building. It was so freaking high. So we're up there at the high rises of this apartment building complex, whatever it was. We've moved, okay? We've gone to that top floor, and then the very same people who were at that second level on the second floor met us at that top floor. Well, the Lord was telling me that at your second floor, okay, you were able to defeat your enemies at that level that you were on, right? But now he's going to need for you to come up higher. He's going to need for you to come up higher. Are you getting what I'm putting out right now? He's going to need for us to come higher, because at that top level, there is absolutely no way of defeat. There is absolutely no access that the enemy will have to you. Okay. Okay. So it's not that where you are is not, a place where God is going to deliver. He's been delivering us the whole time. Do you feel what I'm saying? So if you don't know what I'm talking about, then perhaps you haven't experienced God's full deliverance, but I have seen God moving in ways of full protection, fighting off my enemies in a lot. But God is saying that he's going to need us to come all the way up to the top, all the way to the top with him, where we are untouchable. Okay, where we are untouchable. So when I got to the top floor with my children, of course, they were with me. Again, at this top level, the kids weren't even afraid. They weren't even fearful of anything going on, which lets us know that the higher you go with God, the higher that you go in him, okay, the higher that you are, and that he finds himself in you, the more that fear drops off. It falls off. There's no fear of any enemy. It doesn't matter how big they are. It doesn't matter how much money they have. It doesn't matter what type of witches or warlocks. None of it matters. When you get to that top level, don't nothing matter. Okay, because at that level, they basically, it's nothing they can do anyway. They couldn't do anything on the lower level, but they really aren't doing anything once you get up there. Okay. So the person entered back in, he had his stuff with him. He's ready to do some damage. And I picked him up and I tossed him off of that top level, and he never got back up. I never saw him again. Take a second and think about that. Take a minute. They disappeared. And then everybody that was with him ended up disappearing. Okay. So understand this. Okay. There are some people, they just gonna keep testing God. It's just no, and I hate this for them, But you can't do anything when people have that reprobate mind. You can't do anything for these people. There are just some people who, they feel like, well, I'm already going to hell. Some people actually have that mindset. I'm already going to hell. So I guess I'm just going to go out with a bang. And literally, a lot of people are going to be going out with a bang. Okay, that's what they're literally going to be going out with. When God gets finished, they're going to be going out more than banged up. They're going to be finished forever when he's done. Okay, so that is the message. That is the dream. I pray that you guys have gotten what you need from it. No, we are not excited about the punishment that's coming to our enemies. But what you have to understand is, ain't but so much, what do they expect for God to do? Sit back and allow them to continue to try to harm his people? He's not finna do that. That's not how God works, year after year after year after year. And this is the thing. This is why I know for a fact, this is why people don't want you to pray those types of prayers that are like, they feel like they're fire prayers, okay? Don't pray those prayers. Because the word of God says that we are to pray for our enemies. And yes, while that is true, there are also other scriptures pointed towards people who prayed fiery prayers. Okay. And that was just merely for protection, to protect them from the enemy. So don't be deceived out here, because a lot of people, what these people do is they try to work their way in their words of magic to basically get you to let your defenses down and to pretty much say, like, almost give you, I'm envisioning like a little kitty cat, a little purry cat. You're thinking, oh, this cat can't do no harm to me. I'm going to pray that God blesses this little cat. But then as soon as you turn your back, that cat turned into a big cat and eats you alive. Okay. Listen, this is the time where you must have a real organic, authentic relationship with God. You're going to have it. Okay. You're going to move from those levels. But once you get to that one level, my friend, you're untouchable. So I pray this message has helped somebody out there. And I pray, God, that that you become untouchable in all that you do. Untouchable in the way you move in this earth, untouchable at your job, untouchable at your home, untouchable in your relationships, untouchable. Glory be to God. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I believe my stomach was growling. It was. I pray you guys didn't hear it. But if you did, hey, I'm a little hungry, okay? Sister girl got to grab something to eat. But please do what you do. Show some love. Share my material. I appreciate you guys all so much. Thank you for being faithful followers here on YouTube. And I'm going to keep pushing. And it doesn't matter to me what the devil does, okay? It matters to me what God is doing. And I'm going to keep pushing here on YouTube and whatever other platform the Lord tells me to go to. That is exactly where I'm going. You guys have a blessed Sunday, okay? God bless. Bye.